Hey everyone, it's Kellen Brauer from Racer back again with another race examination video. Going to highlight a couple things from the Denver Supercross. We'll start off by talking about Ken Roczen going down, coming into the first corner right here. And he just kind of drove it in a little bit deep for what the corner was doing, because you can see a lot of these guys in the middle. They're swooping in from the middle to the very inside of the track. McElrath, Tomac, even Nichols to the outside here, get to the corner before Roczen. So, of course, they're going to try to control the line to the inside right here. So Roczen just kind of got on the brakes just a little bit too late for the situation and actually hit the rear tire of his teammate McElrath and then went down. So actually kind of fortunate to kind of like slide out of the way of Kevin Moranz and a couple other people coming in here, because he just ended up in this perfect little middle zone where no one hit him, picked it up in dead last and was able to get all the way back to second. So in the end, it worked out okay for him. But of course, everybody's talking about what the heck happened with Eli Tomac where he ruptured his Achilles. Like, how did we even get here when he didn't even hardly overjump this jump that much? So let's talk about a couple things. First of all, he's going to jump over this table, and he says he went a little bit long. And you can tell, like, most of the time these guys will try to clip this little ledge with their front tire, at least if they're trying to like downside the actual jump. So he did go kind of long, but definitely nothing out of the ordinary. He lands in transition, and you can clearly see how much his boot has stretched right here. He rides on the balls of his feet a lot, which a lot of these guys do to pinch the bike with a little bit more. But the boot is very, very, stretched upwards. But the compression that he has right here on the face of his jump, I mean, you can see he's gone through the entire stroke of the fork and the shock all the way till he's almost bottoming out at this point. And it's really just such a weird freak deal that this even happened, because this is not a spot where these guys really compress that hard even. It was just that perfect example of everything going right, where he just slightly overjumped in transition. So really at this point, his front tire hasn't really hit the ground. So when it hits the ground, it hits hard. And I mean, look, you can see that boot really, twisting right there, which of course, like, a lot of these guys have these moments where they'll overjump something and they'll land on the balls of their feet and use their knees more so. But Tomac's in kind of this more upright standing position because he's about to steep bounce this next jump. When these guys land on the balls of their feet, sometimes to flat, they're compressing their entire body because they're landing to flat. Tomac thinks he's just done this jump fine. So it's a perfect mix of a lot of things. I know some people were saying, oh, he takes some little plastic pieces out of his boots. Maybe the boot strap was a little bit loose. But even he admitted it was just such a freak deal, and there's nothing really that he could have done different. I think it's, personally speaking, incredible that he not only landed that jump okay, but then decided, I'm feeling okay enough, I'm going to jump again, and then realize, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right, because he just ruptured his Achilles tendon. Like, this is something that people writhe in pain over and fall over immediately. And even when he's getting carted off after doing this, like, there's no pain, there's no really anything, not even emotion that's going on right there. Just shows how gnarly Eli Tomac is, and just a shame that it ended this way. But again, so like, here's another example. See, both of these guys, they kind of clip with their rear wheels. Roczen definitely got his front tire down on the backside of this much better, and AC definitely kind of just clipped the whole thing. But you can see, like, they compress, but it's just not the same. And even Roczen here, he's a little bit more forward on the bike. The boot doesn't bend as much because he's got his feet more centered on the pegs and stuff like that. It's just such a normal situation that these guys go through often, where they're transitioning from the landing to the takeoff of a jump, and sometimes your foot placement can be slightly wrong, and in that case for Tomac, it really bit him. So unfortunate end to the season for Tomac, but Sexton gets the win, and now he's going to be the champion of the 450 class.
I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 500,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Use the code RACERX, that's RACERX, for 20% off when you download the OnX app today.
All right, moving on to some 250 stuff. Going through the first corner, Max Vohland's going to come out and grab the whole shot through this first rhythm lane and start trying to pull a little bit of a gap. But actually, I wanted to highlight something that Vohland did a little bit later on, and this is when he and Enzo Lopes are battling it out for what at this time was third place on the track. And Lopes is going to go down the inside and actually take Vohland down. And what I think is kind of like funny or interesting about this situation is they almost got into each other in the corner before. So Vohland comes into this next corner and is kind of trying to defend the inside. Like, you can see how far to the right side of the track he is right here. And a lot of these guys are already taking this inside rut, and you would think, oh, maybe he's going there, but he just is defending the inside and then goes straight over that rut. And it's kind of interesting that he was defending, but then still chose to go all the way to the outside of the berm, and Lopes just reads it like a book, cuts up underneath. And then when Vohland comes out of this corner, it's almost like he's surprised that Lopes is even there. So I think that was a little bit just reading the situation by Vohland and not understanding that Lopes was as close as he was, or maybe he thought that he was going to cut Lopes off to the outside. But either way, he ended up going down. This is the moment where RJ Hampshire was going after Levi Kitchen for the lead and had, first of all, an incredible save and then interesting track reentry right here. But Kitchen can control the inside of this corner coming in. Hampshire did kind of make the pass, but then Kitchen doubles to the inside, and there's still room here. So no harm, no foul for Kitchen to jump to this inside line. He holds the line well, and then even cuts out of the rut early enough to try to leave RJ room. Now, RJ said he hit neutral. I don't know if he hit it here. He may have, because you can see his boot shift right here. And then as he goes up the face of this, he might be trying to grab the throttle and gets nothing. So he takes off. He's leaning back. He gets a brake tap in. Lands pretty hard right there. Sitting down for one. He's not even using his full body. He's just like sitting into the landing. And then if someone told you right about it like this moment that RJ Hampshire is going to save that, I think you would question the logic behind that. But pretty nice job to like plant his foot on this tough block and then rodeo back up on top of the bike. So like perfect placement for this fly bail to, you know, have his foot have a place to put down somewhere, and then gets right back up on the bike, rides off to the side, and then keeps on going. So nice save. And eventually he'd catch and pass Levi Kitchen for the lead, which was also for the win because Kitchen tried to come back but didn't quite get to him. And I feel like nobody even talked about this, but Kitchen, as he squared off this corner, was going to try to, you know, drag race Hampshire back into the next corner here. And then Kitchen on the gas slides out and almost has a big one. I mean, he's pretty sideways right here going into a wall jump. Like this thing high sides, he's plowing into this wall jump pretty big, but it just kind of stands back up just as he's going over the face, and nice body positioning on him to keep it centered and not go down. And in the end, Hampshire would win, but Kitchen kept it close, and it was a very solid race between the two of them. So it was nice to see. But obviously the man of the night was Jet Lawrence, and fourth title in a row, 250 Supercross titles, 2 national titles, and what a way to end his career. And hey, shout out, laid the bike down nicely and then praised the bike. I mean, this Honda has carried him to great heights in this 250 class and has become a bit of a powerhouse of a team as well, with Jet Lawrence at the helm and Hunter Lawrence winning this year as well. And even the mechanic is like, nice job, man. Lay the bike down and praise it. Makes me feel much better than blowing the bike up. Love to see it. And congrats, Jet, on another championship.